Hi everyone, it is me, MarysWifey. I am talking right now because I want you guys to know that there is like a human being behind the screen. And also just to say that if I'm uploading this video, it is because I have genuinely reached my last straw. I'll be showing screenshots with the context, and I will also be speaking about multiple instances, even though I don't have any screenshots to prove it or replays, sadly. I, however, do remember like what happened, and I'll talk about it. I'll just be asking all of you, please, to not tell me to ignore it, because I would not be making this video if it was this easy. And yeah, it's kind of tone deaf at this point. And I will also be asking for no unsolicited advice on that, because I get the advice from my friends and it's more than enough. I don't need that from other people over the internet. That too. And lastly, I will not be speaking as much in this video. This will be the only time you'll hear my voice in that video, as I will likely let my friends talk in another part of the video. And also, yeah, before I start, I would like you guys to really read the description to check the trigger warnings, because I do not want you guys to accidentally hurt yourselves upon watching my video. So please be mindful of that and take care of your mental health. It matters.
So let's start.
Okay. IDV community moment.
Me when the state of IDV.
Yeah, IDV community is, you're kind of fucking up, and I'm generalizing for a reason. Actually, we are generalizing for a reason.
The IDV community is in shambles, and I guess we would like to give an entirely new perspective, I guess, from like two other players that have been like no-lifing sort of on this game for like 4 years.
Yeah.
So like
And no,
so-
I am not giving you my ID for anyone like that could be asking.
Lamar?
I am not giving that.
Okay. It's okay. I don't think people want your ID anyway. Oh, shade, tea and shade. Anyway.
Throw shades only one shit, little shit. Anyway, moving on from
Okay. Okay. So the first point I want to touch on is people claiming that each other are throwing, and this is more of a recent-ish issue, but it's also not a really recent issue. It has been around for like the past year or so, from what I've been like paying attention to. And it's that people quote unquote throwing by playing under meta characters or getting different builds. Characters with people main a lot of different characters, and these characters range from, you know, the meta characters like mercenary, psychologist, patience, maybe, composer, Luca, composer, prisoner, etc. And then there are non-meta characters like acrobat, magician. Who else?
Edgar Valde.
Patience, maybe. Patience, maybe.
Patient is meta though.
Yeah, but like, you know, he's situational sort of. So, I mean, so is Ada.
Yeah,
but
psychologist and
when you
patient.
really think about it, when you really think about it, they're like kind of meta but non-meta because of how situational they are. He's meta, but he's also not meta. So
yeah, same with Ada though. Same with psychology.
People really look down on characters, and this is something that I've noticed like recently, though I'm not really sure. Me personally, I've been witnessing it recently, and that is when people play characters like Mind's Eye, Mechanic in some cases, one other character, Puppeteer, and Aeroplanist.
Or even cheerleader. I've seen a lot of cheerleader aid as well sometimes.
Yeah, cheerleader as well. People absolutely lose their shits. Like
for real. Oh, this bitch throwing. No. Excuse me.
People start complaining or like not liking builds of the characters, and it's just like, in the end, it's one match you're entering out of like a possible thousands if you're like that no life. To be more realistic, like one match out of 10 isn't really going to like sour your mood, which I mean it may, depending on how it goes. But at the same time, like, is the character being played really that important to your teamwork in the end? Because IDV is a teamwork game, so it really shouldn't matter which character you play as long as you know how they work. That's my honest opinion.
Like, I personally believe that the fact that people play different characters, right? Like, I personally am a painter main, which is not meta character. I got a lot of shit for it, especially because it is a non-meta character. And for another reason that we will get at right later, actually. And I'm just gonna say one thing is that it actually has been a thing for a long time. Actually, I personally noticed, especially if at first this was mostly in high rank, like Griffin Alicorn thing, and probably even higher. I did not like check to high rank, but like it was also like a high ranker thing, like if you're like Griffin, you cannot play a certain character because people will think like, oh, you're throwing or shit. You know what I mean? And like, and I say this because again, I got a lot of shit for playing it,
especially in higher tiers.
Yeah, this has been a thing since I actually started ranking like later on.
Especially in higher tiers, like people are more inclined to like yell at each other for playing characters.
For real, like I don't understand it because like for me it's like if you know what you are doing, then you know what I'm doing. It takes a lot of trust, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
It's something that a lot of people don't understand. Exactly. That in this game, it takes trust to actually win. It's not. I'm gonna make actually an example of it. In a way, it's like people are trying to play it as if it's DBD, because personally, I feel like DBD has less teamwork. It has teamwork. Don't get me wrong. It does have teamwork, but it's less noticeable in the long run because a lot of the work in the match that you need to do is done by your own self. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I see.
Like on DBD, I noticed that like from like when I used to play it, that as long as you do your own thing, the match goes practically perfect. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, on IDV, it's more like. Meanwhile, on IDV, it's more like everyone has to do their own thing, but they also need to help each other. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. Which is something people haven't noticed. Actually, I think like not a lot of people like acknowledge the fact that this game is a lot more teamwork focused than other games like this that I've played, at least for me. Because like that's the thing, like it's not only about I'm losing my words for a second. Give me a moment. But like, give me a hot moment. But like whatever character people want to play, like as long as they're playing half seriously, and I'm speaking about rank, QM is another thing entirely, but rank, as long as it's taken half seriously, I'm fine with it. And I think it should be kind of a standard for everyone to be fine with whatever other people pick, because in the end, like as long as they know what they're doing. I personally have a bad experiences with like better players, right? Like a lot of better players used to throw a lot in my matches. And that doesn't mean that I look at a better player and I'm like, this bitch gonna throw. Like no, I don't. I'm not gonna do that. As much as I had really bad experiences with that, because I had like batters literally like throwing, as in like throwing balls that would actually endanger the person kiting, which was usually me. But that's another thing entirely, actually. That's another thing entirely, actually. Because again, me playing Edgar Valden was not liked at all. Edgar Valden, aka the painter for whoever wonders, I guess.
Especially since the first 2 weeks that he was out and he like got absolutely destroyed at that one singular painting, just like lost into the void. People really just like hated him, and that really carried on to the players. It wouldn't go a match where I would get a painter player in my team, and if that post match was like completely peaceful, the Edgar main in question would like come in, type in "thank you for not saying anything about me playing Edgar," and just leave.
For real, yeah.
That is, as funny as it sounds, it persisted for like an entire month straight before the Edgar hate died down.
And even then, it actually continued more, actually. Like, especially in rank. I remember I had to fight on with like I remember I got defended by the hunter because I was playing Edgar. It wasn't interesting.
You know it's bad when the hunter agrees, when the hunter is coming in your defense. Like
for real. And I also had an experience that as a as the hunter, I had to defend the Helena, for example, or the forward. I don't remember. No, it was the Helena. Because like, oh, Helena did not kite well. Helena, aka Mind's Eye. Oh, the Helena didn't kite that well, and I was like, how? What the fuck do you mean? Like, as the hunter, I was like, what? But baffled. Like, no, you're the one that gave the loss, not the Mind's Eye. The Mind's Eye did well, thank you. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I feel like whenever I play this game, I feel like I'm going against the hunter, and then after that, it's going against your own teammates. It's an all against all. Actually, it's not an asymmetrical all game. It's an all versus all.
Yeah, it's people versus people. Everyone at each other's throats. It's like a small little cage fight, and the only cage is like the online borders of the application itself.
For real. And then like, and I can say this again, like, the game gets unfun like this. The game gets unfun really fast.
Yeah.
I used to play. I literally used to get up and just hop on to get a few matches, right? Even without having to play with friends, I was just having fun on my own as well. Like, I had fun with my friends. No offense to either of you, to none of you, but like, I had fun with my friends. But at the same time, like, I also like to play with myself, like either hunter or survivor, whatever. It just got so unfun to me. No, like, I'm talking about as well, like in older, like, I used to rank as well. Like, when I used to rank, the usual like team comp was entomologist, painter, which was me. Then there was prisoner, and then there was mercenary. Usually, either mercenary, or if he was banned, there was seer, or if seer was banned, it was Fiona. Like, and like,
pretty much the meta circle. Prices seer.
And if you and don't even get me started on like, if you didn't pick them, even if they weren't banned and you didn't pick them and no one picked them, oh boy, they actually oh, but why didn't you pick this?
me when I quote unquote throw, am I right?
Yeah, I'm totally. My ass badge for Edgar meant nothing, you know. Like, I mean, it does mean nothing, to be completely honest. Like,
I mean, yeah, considering how many people like you play against with badges that just don't do good at all, like at all. They have no contribution to the team, or like they simply basically just play really selfishly. In the end, it's just like a cool little pin that you can put next to your name.
Yeah, and it makes me sad because at the time when I used to have a badge, it was actually like, you were usually high edge players were really good. I remember having like a very high cowboy. I think it was actually S badge cowboy in my match. He saved my ass so many times. They were actually really sweet as a person as well. Like, one of my best experiences with a cowboy main, actually. So like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes the community is not that bad. At least when I used to rank, which was when was it? Season 15, maybe.
Like, no, don't get me wrong. The community is definitely has some gems in it, but as it stands,
there's a lot of mud.
People's standards when it comes to playing the games, it's like, okay, we will cut this out anyway. Anyway.
You were saying about the IDV community having some gems, but
it has some gems, but the way people are so stuck to the past when it comes to, like, not stuck to the past, but like stuck to the ways of the, you know, the pro players. It just makes the gameplay redundant at the end of everything, which comes to my next point that I want to bring up, which is people really like meddling with your build in this game for some reason. Yeah. Like, you enter a match. I play Painter with 6-9, which is Tide and Broken Windows, which got changed to knee-jerk reflex right now. And when I tell you, people not only don't pay attention to this, even after bringing an adjustment to improve that like inability to communicate your persona build to your teammates because of the fear of Hunter seeing it and strategizing through that. Like, you don't want a Hunter to have an easier time by like knowing how to best your team by just simply knowing your persona build, because as maniacal as that seems, that is very possible. I play Hunters sometimes, and I do that a lot. Like, by just seeing people's persona or just hearing about people's persona, you can easily strategize a game out of it. Yeah. And to avoid this, the IDV team actually brought an adjustment, which now shows your icons, shows the 2 icons in your persona build. That are the last talents upon your head, so that people know how to strategize in team, and the Hunter cannot see that, which is great. But for some reason, my god, that cipher always pops when I'm down. It does not matter. It does not matter if I don't prepare before the game to like really let people soak up that build. Those build icons, or if I just prepare really quickly, in the end, I get criticized at the end of the match for playing a build that doesn't have borrowed time in it. And don't none of you dare say to me in the comments that, oh, borrowed time is important. Oh, borrowed time is this, borrowed time is that. It's not. It's not. In the end, it's a game. I can play with whatever build I want, and that should be the norm. I shouldn't have to pick borrowed time every single time when I'm playing this game. I personally like playing Painter with 6-9 because by the time the end game comes, y'all, every match is like 5 minutes long. By the time the end of the match comes, I already if I don't kite, I already have an extra painting left. Like, I use my environment to kite a lot, and I don't use my paintings a lot, like some other painter mains, which is, I have nothing against that. It's just that how I personally play, I always have an extra painting left to the end game.
Yeah.
And for that, I bring 6-9, because if I bring 6-9 and I already have used the painting, that just means if I can stun the Hunter and the cipher pops, by the time the stun of my painting ends, I can get to a pallet and kite like 20 seconds longer, maybe. Those last 20 seconds are really important because the gates open in 30 seconds anyway.
Yeah.
30 seconds or less if there's a postman in the team.
Yeah. Or more if there's an anti-Korean or an acrobat in it.
I've had 3 instances of which in-game, after the match is over, the game ends in a win in all of these. 2 wins and 1 tie. At the end of it, because I didn't apparently, quote unquote, let people know my build, I fell down and was the sacrifice at the end of the game. So I got yelled at for not having borrowed time in my character build.
Which is bullshit. I am so sorry.
I legitimately had an antiquarian yell at me for playing Painter with tied and broken windows.
I literally play Doctor without borrow time because, like, you know, if I'm injured, I can just heal myself. Like, Doctor, you know, like Doctor.
Yeah.
And like, boy, oh boy, oh boy. I am just going to say that first of all, I don't use flywheel, so my build is tied and broken windows / knee-jerk reaction, whatever. It's 69. 69. Anyway, stop me. Anyway, so like, Doctor without time makes sense because, like, if I'm not the one kiting, it's fine. Again, time is extremely situational. I don't see a point in having to bring time always if 3 of us have time, for example.
Yeah.
Like, time is extremely situational. I don't like the fact that time became this sort of thing that it has to be used like 24/7. Like, no.
Yeah, like, let me tell you one thing that I really like saw in my time with experimenting and just playing with the 6-9 build, aka the tied and broken windows build.
Mm-hmm.
When the last cipher pops, no matter what, if the last survivor that was kiting had fallen down or not, when the last cipher pops, hunters like Wu Cheng, Geisha, any other hunter that can use quick teleport like Nightmare, or just any hunter that has teleport already as their third trait, fucks right off the second that cipher pops to the other exit gate.
Yeah.
Like, in the end, I'm better off trying to survive with a measly little painting than I am to waste my borrowed time on 10 seconds, sorry, a second or two of like freedom. Like,
Yeah.
I can use that a second or two to place down a painting and stun the hunter and like get to the next window and hold them in my, like, hold them on my throat longer.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it's about how much time you lose the hunter. It's not about getting up the second you fall down. It's not what this game is about. It's like, this may come off as like really deep, like, oh, don't make this deep, but like, think about it. Is it really that much more worth it if I just like fall down and get up, for the hunter to just leave me alone and go to other survivors to torment them, and in the end lose more time to the survivors? Or is it better for me as a painter main that is playing painter in the game to use the last painting to stall the hunter, have the cipher pop, and then have, like, either have the hunter to follow me longer, like try to down me before like going to the other exit gate via teleport or just by foot, or, you know, the other alternative that also loses time to the hunter.
Yeah, like, again, I just, again, any build is situational in the end.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like even flywheel, even like technically even tied, even broken windows, like people that are like, oh, but you use a character without tied, oh, you use a decoder with tied, oh, you're throwing law. Like, no, I am not throwing by playing my build. I am just more comfortable playing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I play the quarters with Tide, for example. Like I just am more comfortable with it. Usually I play the quarters with Tide because there's usually 2 people without. So like in the end, at least 2 people without, sometimes even 3, and I'm the only one with Tide. And like Tide as a decoder actually saved my entire back. And I'm saying back to censor myself. It saved like a lot of my matches to have Tide as a decoder because the hunter does not expect it. Believe me, the hunter does not expect it. Even like at high tiers, like hunters do not expect it to Tide, especially like when the gate is about to be open or something.
And that, in my honest opinion, keeps the game really fresh when you really think about it.
Yeah.
I have not played against any survivors that don't have borrow time. I haven't. Like
me neither. When I did sometimes. When I do, I am so surprised actually, because I'm like, well, because like usually like they're the kite I'm doing, and then they don't get up, and I'm like, huh.
And then you're like, oh,
really? Like, really? Excuse me?
It's like, isn't not in like a way of like disappointment to, oh wow, you didn't.
Oh, actually surprised. No, that's actually surprised. Like, oh, I'm actually pleased with that. Actually,
yeah, like that's cool. That is really cool to see.
For real, like because then maybe like they held me for like an entire match, like, and they didn't even have time, and like it worked. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know how to explain it fully, to be honest. But yeah, like
I think it's like easy to understand, in my honest opinion. Like, this is in no way to say that people can't play with borrowed time, or like people can't play with flywheel. But it's to say, like, when people go out of their way for some reason to let you know that your 6-9 build sucks for you somehow, or like sucks for the team somehow, it's like, even though they're speaking from experience, which I do recognize that because this game is insane sometimes.
yeah.
But it's like, why generalize players like that? Like, I know you can't help it in some cases, but why generalize people like that, and why take that frustration out on the next team you get? That is one way to kill the game off, both for yourself and for the other players. No one wants to hear you scream and cry about people not bringing borrowed time. Okay?
Exactly. And it's actually a really bad example for new players as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I feel like I am so sad to say that there's a lack of like new players that don't really understand how the game works. Like, they usually come from like maybe videos and shit, and they act like they know everything instead of being like me or whoever I met actually that was like, oh, what is this? Oh, what the fuck is that? Like, actual genuine curiosity instead of just going like, oh, I saw this in the video and it worked, like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand taking videos as like a way to learn, but it can't be the only way to learn.
Yeah, obviously. You cannot learn cooking by just watching mini cooking videos.
Oh, speaking from experience that way. Anyway, going on.
For your information, I can cook pasta better than you. I said
you know what? And you know you're saying bullshit now. You know you're saying bullshit because you use ketchup on it.
Yeah, right. No, I don't. You.
Exactly.
No, I really hate that, actually. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Okay, this video is about now why I hate eating pasta with ketchup.
My nationality is literally dying inside me right now. Anyway, moving on from this. I want to move on from this.
Okay, yeah, back to the topic.
Back to the actual topic.
Back to the actual thing.
Flywheel.
This
I
is-
think we haven't
yeah.
spoken about Flywheel actually.
Flywheel is the bane of my existence.
I hated. Okay, I'm bringing up DBD again because fuck off, y'all. I used to be a DBD.
Wow, we get a load of this guy, right, guys?
I used to be a DBD player, and I absolutely abhorred. What even was the name? I don't remember.
Dead hard.
Yes, and I will never understand IDB for putting that hard in this.
Dead so hard, you actually die in IDB.
For real, the amount of it's not even about missing the flywheel. Okay, it's not about missing the flywheel because sometimes the hunters bait it or like there's sometimes a lot more like mind play with that.
Yeah.
But it's the way everyone is like, oh, you cannot survive with flywheel, or they act like you not having flywheel is a problem.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you want from me?
For real.
It goes back to like everyone that needs to chill out and let everyone play their own builds. Aside from Snowflake, do not dare to play Snowflakes. I would actually kill you. But like,
no, you know what? Go play Snowflakes, y'all. Right now, Snowflake Strike starts whenever this video goes up.
Anyway, jokes aside, like even Snowflakes, I don't care. Like just as long as you know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is, I wanted to say, Flywheel, I feel like it's great, okay? Like, when you really think about it, it's actually amazing. I've seen insane plays from some of the players that I've teamed up and played together with. But I'm so sorry to say this, it requires good ping. It requires a good device that does not lag, and it requires a good ping, in my honest opinion. Because the amount of times I've seen Flywheel fail is astonishingly high, and the times I've seen it work is with only survivors that have very visibly good ping. Like, I'm talking 40 ping, 50 ping.
And not only that, like
ping, maybe.
You just brought up the fact, actually, that like people that get so mad at people like pinging unstuck when they're having ping issues. I've seen that. I've actually seen that.
Yeah.
I am actually a firm believer of if you're having a bad ping day, don't play. Just for your own sanity, I don't personally care. Like I will
that is a very good point.
Upset at the moment of it, but like I'm not really mad at a person for trying to play. But like if you insist on playing when you obviously like have a bad ping day today, just don't try to play today. I'd say personally.
But with the flywheel, it's not that. That's the point. It's like IDV's engine sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
IDV's servers and engine sucks. Absolutely is terrible.
I think I have a picture of that.
for a talent that is only really good when your internet or your in-game performance, the engine that provides the performance is really, really smooth and really, really good. Flywheel is Flywheel is one of the best perks in the entire game. I'm saying perks because I don't want to say persona build every single time. But Flywheel is one of the best. Like, it's a great improvement from Spectator, which is what it used to be, which was basically like a healing support build. which let you see injured survivors across the map, no matter the distance between you and the survivor.
Yeah, it was basically empathy from like DBD, I think.
Yeah, it was more of a passive skill because of how IDV used to be. And once it really stopped getting used by like the fifth what's it called, by the fifth season,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I wasn't around for that, so I don't know. They changed it, and it's honestly, it's really good in the right devices. Not even the right hands, in the right devices and in the right hands.
Both of them, but you can't have all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was just like a personal nitpick of mine. So that's not really that important. Like,
Yeah. Like, it's just the fact that, like, I don't dislike Flywheel, okay? I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't dislike Flywheel.
Mhm.
But I will honestly say this, that I personally think that people need to chill out on builds in general. Genuinely,
Yeah, especially.
like I've had some flywheels that were amazing. Same with like tides and like general like builds. People that were amazing, like players that were amazing in the match. You know what I mean? Like I had a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of players that were amazing in my matches, but that like that doesn't mean that people can just do whatever the fuck they want. You know what I mean?
yeah, especially.
Like, which brings up another point of mine that I wanted to bring up. I hate post match. Yeah, and pre match as well. Like, I play the game to have fun. Okay, I play a game because I want to have fun. Right. I do not have fun if I have to fight for quote unquote my own in-game survival.
Yeah.
Oh, but oh, you suck. I didn't install. What is this league?
No, it's not even that. Like, you can ignore those at a certain point, which is like not really a solution, but like you can just like move on with your day, and you can technically disable post match. But man, what if people want to have post match conversations? Like, what if people want to make friends in this game? Like, just not friends like fucking that you go and hang out with, like, obviously no. But like, what if you want to just have someone that also plays IDV and you just want to be friends with them? The only way you can connect is the post match, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially if you play a lot of matches and don't just like go around sending friend requests to random people. Who does that? I have no idea. I don't care.
I don't.
But like, what if you want to just have someone to talk with? Like, I know that's not also something that people do. I don't care. It's like, oh, you can just disable post match, but like, what if people want to vibe with other people in the post match?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Are they just gonna like not do that? Are they just gonna be like antisocial in the online space? Like,
What do you know?
being antisocial in an online space is already an absurd concept if you really think about it. So
yeah. Oh, just
it's not about just it's not about just like ignoring something. It's not about blocking things to not see them. It's like either choose to be like one of the players that just go in the game, play the game, get out, go in the next say, play, get out. I don't know. It's just like not a solution. It's a solution, but it's not a solution, and it just doesn't work every single time.
Yeah.
So like, the post-match is a blessing and a curse.
Like, I personally met you through the post-match.
Yeah.
I met like the one that is doing this video in an IDV space. So like,
Yeah.
and we've been like having a friendship for almost 4 years now, 3 to 4 years now. So like,
Yeah, which is like, considering we were IDV friends, that is really huge.
it's a huge W
For real.
for both of us.
But like that's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes post-match can be really fun, and if you just like block that out for like any potential bad like people typing into insults, that's just isolating yourself in like another form, which is not that good. It's not that enjoyable to be so alone in an online game.
For real, genuinely. Like, I personally disagree with like, oh, you should just like ignoring an issue just makes it deteriorate more and more, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make it better; it just makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just gonna be deteriorating over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, it's kind of like you know something is going stale and you just ignore that.
Yeah.
Ignore that going stale. It's just gonna get worse and worse. It's not gonna get better and better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just piles up after a certain point.
Yeah. And people don't seem to understand that. Like, they seem to think, oh, like,
Yeah.
they don't want to think about it because thinking about it is problematic for them. You know what I mean? Because it means that everything they know is wrong.
Yeah. Me then denial.
For real.
Me then stages of grief. I'm gonna stop with the me then jokes. I'm like actively deteriorating this video's credibility by saying me when I every single time. But yeah, that's our other thing. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, so next thing that I pointed out was teamwork deterioration. Just like the death of teamwork in this game.
Yeah. Teamwork doesn't exist anymore. What do you...
Yeah, it's like optional now. It's like teamwork's in parentheses optional.
I think I actually brought it up before.
Yeah, I
think
think
I brought it up
so.
a bit. I think I brought it up before a little bit because I was like, fuck off. Like, because the thing is, like, okay, give me a moment.
Take your time.
The thing is, like, that makes me so mad, actually. Like, I love team play games, okay? Teamwork games. These games specifically just made me understand how this generation is so bad at team plays. This generation, but like, I mean, like, people that play this game or play any other kind of like asymmetrical game. Because again, I've been playing like online games a lot. By a lot, I mean a lot. And by a lot, I mean I was into Overwatch, I was into DVD, I was into COD, I was into League, I am still into League. I was into like a lot of games that are like player versus player PvP, you know what I mean? And especially team PvP, you know what I mean? And let me tell you this, it doesn't get better. in other games, it doesn't get any better, actually.
Yeah.
Because, like, it doesn't matter where you go. People will think you have to be the protagonist of that match for some reason.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, but you didn't do enough for this. You gave me a loss. Wah, wah, nya, nya, yaw, yaw. Kind of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think it's so bullshit.
The specific type of team deterioration that I want to point out is that people that play harassers or any type of survivor that can just like interfere with the hunter's business, like even acrobat. I used to main acrobat. I main painter now, and people just, the more common cases with this is with enchantresses, entomologists, one more other survivor I don't remember right now. Harassers just sitting idly when they have to get to their work and try to stall or, well, harass the hunter from getting the survivor on the chair. Most of these players do try, I'm not saying they don't, but there are the ones that just sit on a nearby cipher and do absolutely jack shit the entire game.
Yeah.
I've seen decoders that do not decode a single cipher. I've seen supporters, like seer players, not give owls, like even try to give owls at all. I've seen enchantresses don't go to balloon rescues, even with 3 stacks, 4 stacks. I've seen entomologists with full bees just not do anything. Which, I mean, I can't really blame the entomologist players, because most of the entomologist players have a more of a selfish play style. Like, by selfish, I mean they just use the bees for themselves, which is fair, because the bees are kind of limited as a resource, and with Enchantress and Norton, you don't have a limited resource. You just gain stacks out of your ass. But that little bit of help really helps a lot sometimes. So, like, when you're close by, especially as especially when you're playing a survivor that counts as a harasser, I feel like the number one priority should be to just delay the hunter as much as possible so people can continue to work on ciphers, or even have someone struggle out of a balloon, because the struggle mechanic is really important sometimes. People bring will to survive stacks sometimes to struggle out faster. So when you harass the hunters and delay them, you just make it easier for the survivor to possibly get out. And okay, I know, which is like, it's a dodgy mechanic. It's a really niche thing to waste quote unquote precious time on. But it's fun. It's fun to fight for your teammates' life, no matter how bad they've done.
I remember the end match.
God, it's always the end matches.
We're all fighting for one life and forgot ciphers existed.
That was a bit of a bully match, which I still do feel a little bad for. But since the end won, I'm pretty happy that match ended in a loss. That match was so much fun, though.
Yeah.
Pretty stressful for the hunter and the survivors, but in my honest opinion, that match was really fun. But you get what I'm saying, right? It's like, it's fun to play as a team in a teamwork game. Like, I know that sounds really obvious, but like most of the players in IDV really miss that as of lately, or well, as of the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, to be honest.
Yeah, and
It's
like, sorry, go.
It's just sad to not see people engage in their teamwork and like make the most out of the match. People give up so quickly in this game as of lately, which is
Like,
not
how
fun
many
anymore.
times I get hit one time, maybe early in the kite, and I get a "you're on your own" or "don't rescue" or "don't rescue, go for the tie." Like, bro, the game just started. I remember
Dude,
someone was standing
yeah.
"you're on your own" to me, and I was like, "Oh, it's on!" And like after the second share, I kited, I think, for like 200 seconds. I think. like, oh, it's on, bitch.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, but I can understand how health, like someone's mental health could get worse. Like the more this happens, a lot. Like
Yeah.
it's just sad. It's just sad to see because like people like sorry.
It's fine.
A lot of people like just don't understand how sad it is that you're doing, like you're trying to play and you just see you're on your own.
Yeah.
Like out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like very isolating. Like, I don't want to put big words like that on a simple game mechanic, but it in the end it is isolating. Like, I don't know what else to call it. It's like, just yesterday I had a like I played together with another group, and we got a match, 3-person team, me, my 2 other friends, and 1 random. This random person was playing female dancer. One of my friends was playing LG, and one of them was playing Seer, and I was playing barmaid. I just wanted to do some practice barmaid. Like, I just wanted to practice barmaid because it was quick match. I want to specify that it was quick match. And my friend got down in 70 seconds into his kite. He didn't even do that bad of a kite. He just kind of got unlucky and got stuck somewhere, if I recall correctly. And just kind of fell down really quickly after like 70 seconds. The second my friend fell down, the dancer pinged "don't rescue me," and she was the closest out of everyone to the chair.
Wow.
The map was moonlit, and I had to walk my ass from one exit gate to the next just to save my friend.
Wow.
Because I did not want to let that match go. Like, people just play to win in the game. They just play to win, and in the end, the things they do to win makes them lose the game. Why lose a game that has a lot of potential from a 70-second kite? Because IDV has gotten incredibly fast paced as of lately. I mentioned matches taking 5 minutes at longest. Like, with the, your usual skill and M1 hunters. So why shorten that 5 minutes to like an agonizing 3 minutes?
For real.
3 minutes that no one has fun, especially when people wait over an hour sometimes for a singular match. It just kills any type of fun, any type of momentum people have for this game. People that want to play this game don't want to play it anymore because of the player base. Because of selfish teammates. So, like, I don't know, man. It's just kind of sad. Like, we're in what? Season 31? I started back in season 12.
Really?
And when I tell you, if I could take the time back and go to season 12, I would in like a heartbeat.
Yeah, same. Not season 12. I wasn't playing in season 12, but I would go back in like an older season as well. Like genuinely.
Yeah. If there's anything you want to add or say, you can go right ahead.
Not really. There's not much I need to say, to be completely honest. Like, you said everything I wanted to say. Genuinely, like.
Okay. Then.
Because, like, in the end, it's just sad to see. It's just genuinely sad. It saddens me to even talk about it, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it's like. It's one of those, like, weirdly bittersweet things. Like, almost. I don't want to accept that this is a thing, but it's a thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I noted this down as like a personal nitpick, but I have a feeling that any type of person that plays IDV for at least a year straight will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So yeah, that was one of the more important points that I wanted to really mention because it's not talked about often. I don't see anyone talk about it, to be honest. Or
Yeah.
maybe I'm just not in the IDV scene as of lately. So okay, so what do we think about people threatening to dox each other on ID?
Don't get me started. Okay. I have so much to say, but I'll actually sum it up with one. People need to chill the fuck out. 2, it's a game. Get over it. 3, I have a life outside of the game. I don't play 24/7. I don't play every day. And not anymore. I used to, but not anymore. If I'm having a bad day, I'm gonna play bad and probably stop playing after one match because I don't feel like playing bad, right? But don't come and mix in real life with this fucking pixelated shit. Okay? I am so tired of the sorry, I'm gonna be completely fucking crude with this. Oh, KYS. Oh, you should just hang yourself. Oh, you should just oh, I'm gonna talk to you.
But yeah, it's like, okay, KYS this, KYS that, but what do you mean I'm going to dox you? Like, if you play this character, I'm gonna dox you. Like, are you okay? Like, are you one of those people that SWAT streamers for, like, existing?
For real. It gives that vibe, yeah. It gives that vibe.
The fact that it's such a
Common.
serious threat, too. Like, doxes happen 24/7 at this point. Twitter exists. Of course they happen.
It literally happened to me. What do you mean?
Hello?
You didn't know? I thought
I didn't.
I thought I told you guys. I got doxxed in my Overwatch era, actually.
Oh my god.
Yeah, literally a random person online just told me like my real name, even though it's not even like it wasn't even on the PSN, and they told me, and they even told me like the city I was living in, and I was like, oh fuck, shit, I was like, I think I was 12 at the time, maybe 14. It was a bit terrifying, actually.
No, just a little. Not traumatizing or anything. Yeah, just a little.
With what I had to hear from like playing Overwatch as a biological female, unfortunately speaking, I'm just gonna say that IDV people are just cowards. They're big cowards, actually. These people like try to be toxic in the most like exhausting way. Like you get tired of it because it's exhausting to hear it, not because it's actually terrifying. For me specifically, like I'm talking about my personal experience, because like playing Overwatch as a again as a female bioproduct, it was, and COD as well. It was an experience. It was a pretty bad experience, actually, because like I'm not gonna repeat what they said, but let's just say that it involves a lot of very, very, very bad threats, and I'll just leave it at that. As a 15, 14 years old, I really shouldn't have heard those. So, anyway, IDV people are cowards. Like, genuinely, like, they don't even understand how it feels like, in my honest opinion. IDV people just think, oh, I can write whatever I want because freedom of speech, like, blah, 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 blah. No.
Most of them treat it like jokes. Like, it also goes with the legendary KYS ones. But people just tell each other to off themselves because they think it's fun. Which, I mean, if you do it with your friends, whatever. I don't care what you do with your friends. But when you carry that onto the online space and towards other people, that becomes problematic because you may or may not be enabling some sort of self-destructive behavior, and like, call me reaching, but like, that's very possible. You never know what's happening in someone else's life, and when you come in and say things like, oh, I'm gonna find you and do this and that to you, or like, I'm gonna leak your address, or I hope you die, I hope you KYS. It's, even if you think it's funny, that's just concerning. Go seek actual help. Like, actually see a therapist, because I don't. Either it's some sort of projection, either you're projecting, or you have some seriously deep-rooted issues.
Yeah.
Like, you have a problem. Go get help.
For real. For real.
Like, especially when you threaten someone by doxing or leaking their pictures or leaking their real name to millions of people to see, and you think that's funny to have people fear for their lives, for their privacy in an anonymous setting, that's, go get help. Yeah. Seriously, go get help. No one thinks you're funny. No one encourages you to be like that. Just go get help. If you have circles like that, quit them. It's more better for you to get out of those spaces, for you to be free of that environment rather than being in that environment and seeing abuse, basically, to fearmonger people as some sort of a funny little joke.
Yeah.
Then it can have real life consequences.
It can.
I mentioned before that streamers would get swatted a lot. Like, in a period of time where streamers, like, got swatted like left and right or got doxxed, people would just treat it as jokes or say that they deserved it because they did something wrong. Like,
Which wasn't true. Yeah.
it's not true. It's never true.
Yeah.
Unless you're reporting like an FBI level criminal to the FBI, do not dox anyone.
For real. Yeah. Yeah.
But you would expect this to be like you would expect this to be like basic knowledge, but it's not. So I feel like this is just something that has to be said. It's not funny, haha, when you threaten people's life, when you threaten to leak people's life. So
For real. For real, it's not. Especially because people have lives. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like they don't deserve. No one does.
yeah, no one deserves fearing for their life for any type of cause, unless they're criminals and like unless they're really bad people.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wish people just, understood the fact that not people are just, trying to play a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, when you really think about it, it's like at the end of everything is just a game and you're threatening someone's privacy over losing a match. That's like next level of sad. I don't know how to even describe it. Not only is it incredibly creepy and invasive and stalkery and just
Bad.
predatory, because when you really think about it, IDV's player base starts at 14 years old.
Yeah.
There are kids playing this game. There are minors playing this game. I started playing IDV at 14 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
Tiny.
I'm 18 now. I'm 18 now. But
Tiny.
it
Tiny. Sorry.
does sound really tiny when, like, I look at into the retrospective of how young I was. So I can't imagine being a 14-year-old, like, coming out of a match, a random IDV match, and then seeing in the post-match that my location is going to be exposed, my location is going to be leaked.
Yeah.
No, especially when it's especially minors, it like hits a really soft spot for me because how do you make that threat and in a space where children are possibly involved? That is depraved. That is depraved.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just have no words other than
I
those.
same. That's why I'm being a bit silent because, like, again, like I told you, my experience was already horrible from the beginning. But like,
Mhm.
IDV toxicity just feels like children to me, like just genuinely children speaking without knowing like that their words have consequences, should have consequences. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
So yeah, like I guess it's sad to see that like, as maybe it's just me that as a child, like, I just wanted, like, you know, to be. I just wanted. As a child at that like. At that like age, I personally was more like into trying to be friendly with everyone, trying to at least. So like seeing the opposite from like these quote unquote children. I say children because I'm like older, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, they're not children, but like, you know what I mean? Sad. It's just terribly sad.
Yeah, it is.
Because like, why would you just do that? In my own opinion, like it's sad. It's extremely sad, and like I don't even know how to explain it.
Like, even though we started off this like really lighthearted, I feel like this is one of the more serious ones, like really serious ones that needs to be talked about because it's so common. It's so common that like people like IDB Japan's official TikTok page made fun of the phrase KYS. Like that, I'm gonna be really honest. That TikTok was one of the funniest shits I've ever seen. But when you really think about it, it's concerning.
It is.
It's really concerning.
Because it means that it's actually like a bad problem within the community. It's not just a one-time thing, you know what I mean?
And also that IDB Japan is aware of this.
Where do we want to go back to now?
I actually want to start out this next point, which is people really fucking hate weaker characters and just weaker decoders in general. Why? Why?
It's not even about weaker, because there's not exactly weak characters. They're just weak in one part, but usually they're extremely buffed in another part. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the only thing that makes them weak is like the teamwork the other players put out. Like if a mechanic gets down and you go to save her like the second she's sat down, of course she's not gonna be any good for the team because you don't let her decode at all.
For real, yeah. Or like rescuing an Edgar too late, for example. It's like the same effect as that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you rescue an Edgar first chair of at like almost at the dead end, like yeah, your second chair is gonna last nothing. GG on you.
It's like, wow, no wonder people don't last that long because maybe you don't know how to save them properly.
I know, right?
It's like, oh, weaker decoders are bad. Don't play Mind's Eye, don't play Mechanic, they're slow. Or like, don't play Patience because he's not good without Ada. Don't play Psychologist because she's situational. Or like, don't play Psychologist if you cannot kite, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, do you let them kite? I don't know.
For real. Like, do you even like try to let them kite? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just going around being wah. Like, don't bother me with that. Genuinely, like, if I feel like playing character, just let me play my character. I probably know how to use them.
Yeah, especially, which just goes back to like an earlier point where we said, don't interfere with people's picks because quote unquote weaker characters don't exist in this game. It's just like some survivors have more favors than the others, and they're pretty much the same in the end.
Yeah. Like in the end,
So,
if
like,
I know how to kite, I probably know how to kite as Mind's Eye, which is,
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like if I know how to play Mind's Eye and I know how to kite with Mind's Eye, then I probably, like, if I pick Mind's Eye, I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
yeah. It just really ends up back to the person, honestly. Like, if you're someone that says, "Oh, we lost because of the Mind's Eye, because Mind's Eye is so slow," or "Oh, we lost because of the psychologist, because the psychologist lasted too little." It's like, it's not about the survivor at that point. It's like how well you can work with like the worst situation, you know? It's not specifically about that person's character being quote unquote weak or having weak attributes. It's just like how well you can handle that quote unquote weakness.
Yeah, it goes back to what I say a lot of the times when we have this conversation about like team mechanics and shit.
Mhm.
Of like, usually when the team gets a loss, it's not one person's fault. Sure, one player might have fucked up and like ruined their own kite or whatever, but if the rest of the team doesn't know how to like, or cannot handle having to put a, as I like to call it, put a patch on it, you know what I mean? That's on the team. The loss is on the team, it's not on the person.
Mhm.
Like I personally think, since this isn't team play game, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You don't get to be like, oh, it's this person's fault. No, it's the person might have fucked up, but you also didn't manage to fix it for the other person. Because sometimes the
Yeah.
other person might have a bad day, might have a bad match, might have a bad ping for that moment, might have had any problems, any issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And bringing them down by making them think you think it's their fault, it's not gonna help at all.
Yeah, especially considering it's like a team game.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if the person is throwing, then yes, that's their fault for
Of course.
making the match a loss.
If the person is clearly not decoding and like stopping in front of the hunter just to get down and shit like that, that's which is what I call throwing.
Yeah.
Or bringing the hunter to a survivor like willingly.
Yeah.
Like the hunter is not hitting them, but then they just bring the hunter to the mechanic, for example. That's just that's just completely throwing behavior, in my own opinion.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like choosing a character isn't throwing behavior. Going back to that one small point, to be honest. But yeah, like, just I don't really understand how difficult it is to just trust people to leave others do whatever they want, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, just let them do whatever they need to do.
And you know, speaking of bad matches, people immediately this just directly goes to like the win rate stuff, you know. When people are specifically like decoder mains, especially Mind's Eye and mechanic mains, even though mechanic mains do not get that much backlash, like I don't know myself because I'm not a mechanic main. I do play her, but I haven't really seen any type of backlash towards her. Like I'm completely like to be corrected on that, to be fact checked on that, because I don't want to speak for people. But when you have like a badge on mechanic or like Mind's Eye, people expect you to be immediately really, really, really good and have a really, really, really good game sense. Well, I do think if you have an A badge or an S badge, sure. Yeah, that is to be expected. You're an S badge or an A badge. Like, at that point, I'm gonna think you earned that badge, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, you know, high tier players can have, like, S badge players can have bad matches. That doesn't mean the survivor, like, that doesn't mean they suck at the survivor they play or that they suck at the game. Because it's an S badge or like an A badge. Like they earn that at that point, you know?
Yep.
So it's like, who are you to go to an S badge and be like, do you know how to play this character? Or like, you have a lose streak. We're gonna lose if you play this character that you have a badge on. Or like,
oh, your win rate is so bad. Sorry.
Yeah, like okay. Like, you play as a team, but people having low win rates is somehow their own fault, even though they play in a team of survivors. Like, okay, sure.
At least
if
like
that's
the
for
hunter
sure.
win rate is only your fault, and that's why the hunter win rate is usually high, pretty high, to be honest. Unless you're going only friendly, I mean that's the point. You know what I mean? But like,
Oh,
that was an accident. Fuck.
well, bye. Well, I mean, we know where to cut now.
That was a complete accident. I'm so sorry.
Keeping this in the video. Wow. Now you're embarrassing.
Everyone is gonna know me as the fucking really crawl. It was an actual accident, by the way. I deeply apologize.
Don't worry about it.
anyway, like what was I gonna say? The ADHD is so strong right now. Oh my god, my tism. Anyway, so what I wanted to say was actually something that I don't remember, so I'm not gonna speak.
Bye. Okay, just
No.
cut the segment. Just leave the read.
Okay. I remember.
Okay,
I wanted to say win rates are so useless. Like, win rates are so genuinely useless because most of the time ties are not counted in the win rates, and I used to have a really bad win rate just because I got only ties most of the time, especially in like Griffin. At the time, Griffin players were debatable, but still sometimes decent, depended on who I got, like MarysWifey maybe.
Name drop. Lord drop. Ooh. Oh, Lord drop.
The only mechanic I trusted at the time, for real. I'm not even joking. Your TS? Do you want to talk about your terror shot? No. Okay. Sorry for going off topic for a second. Okay. Sorry for going off topic for a second. But it's genuinely so funny that every time, and I think both of you can attest to this, every time, okay, someone goes to rescue, and I notice a pattern in how they want to rescue. I kid you not. I genuinely say, look how he gets, how they get terror shock right now, mentally. Because I literally can feel it in the air that they're gonna get terror shock. Literally, Ash was literally like, I said Ash, since Ash is gonna probably cut this out. Ash literally fucking tried to bait the hunter, and I was like, Ash, you're gonna get terror shocked. Ash, you're gonna get terror shocked. and then Ash just got terror shocked so bad. Literally the moment I said, at the third time I said, Ash, you're gonna get terror shocked. Because again, people forget the fact that I was a decoder main, I was a Kaido main, but at the end, at the the one role I do the best is the rescuer.
Mm-hmm.
My rescuers are genuinely like usually really good. And it's something I take my pride of. I'm actually very proud of, very proud of. And which is why whenever I play with randoms and I cannot play rescuer, I just go, oh my fucking god. Anyway, like rescuing is something that I get really good at. I got really good at because playing hunter specifically helps you with like knowing how hunters think they're trying to bait. So you kind of counterattack their baiting with your own like tactics. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever I see people actually fucking baiting at the chair, and which is something Ash used to do and still does sometimes, I am like, because hunters actually count how many times you bait to decide to hit. And the third time Ash baited, I knew that the pollen was gonna hit. That's why I said, Ash, you're gonna get their shot. First time, Ash, you're gonna get their shot. Because I was trying to warn them, but did they fucking listen? Absolutely fucking not. This is all a joke, by the way. Like, don't take me too seriously, but like, it's actually what happened anyway. And the funniest part is that it always happens whenever I feel it. Like I genuinely predict whenever someone is about to get their shot. It's not even funny. Even like with just the the auras, because when you can see the hunter aura near the chair and the rescuer aura most of the time, I just look at the rescuer movements and I'm like, he's gonna get their shot. Literally, like they're gonna get their shot. Yeah, they're gonna get their shot. I've been rescuer for so long, like in my brain, it's so ingrained in my brain. Same with kiting, by the way. Like someone fucks up a kite, like kites in a certain way, and I'm like, yeah, they're not gonna last long. Yeah, they're not gonna last long. Like it's not even about not trusting my teammate. Okay, it's about apart from gut feeling. I have a lot of gut feelings in this game, which is why I kept playing it for so long. I felt this thrill of like, getting gut feelings and like feeling like I'm actually playing the game myself. Like it's pulling a puppet left and right. It's actually me playing this game. You know what I mean? And there's also like the fact that like knowing how the game works, knowing how both hunters and survivor work, makes it easier for me to just predict what's gonna happen at that point.
Yeah.
Like I know when I fuck up in a kite, just like I know when others fuck up in a kite. Which is why when I see someone getting hit in a certain way, I'm like, yeah, they're not gonna last long. Like I know it, like very much early on, actually. So yeah. Anyway, off topic. I went completely off topic. I'm sorry about that. I keep going.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I keep going off topic. I apologize for that.
No, it's fine. No worries.
But yeah, like bad matches don't equal bad players. I say this as an Andrew that got terror shocked an entire 2 hours of rank.
In the same breath, good matches also don't equal good players.
Yeah.
This is really important when it comes to rank and people that look at the win rate and go like, oh, haha, you have 26 win rate, like you must suck at the game, Lamar. But in the end, the in-game sense and the skill base really speaks for the entirety of that person's gameplay, no matter their win rates. Because the survivor win rate is useless to look at. Like, my highest win rate was 59.02. And I only remember that because I was so shocked. I was so close to 60% win rate.
Was it when we were ranking together?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember having a similar win rate. Maybe it was like 55%, I think.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, certain players really do effective win rate to go up and down, and it really, again, depends on the skill of the players you're playing with and you're playing against. Because, the hunter has a hand in your win rate as well. so does your teammates.
Yeah.
When you lose a lot of matches as survivor, it speaking for the survivor side specifically, because I'm not a hunter main. I do play hunter, but I'm not a hunter main. It just like the survivor win rate has a lot of factors that lower it and get it up.
Yeah.
So when people target the survivors with their win rates to boost some sort of ego or like look down on other people, it's like, man, we'll see you in the match.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see who's better or who's worse in the match. Like, the match is gonna speak for itself. Do not bring down others for their win rate. Like, that's just stupid, I feel.
For real. It reminds me of like that one time when I used to like solo rank, you know, after you stopped ranking like from Mammoth. Like I started ranking solo a lot, so we kind of stopped ranking together. I felt so bad about that actually. And then I got into Griffin, right? And I had a streak of losses, like so bad actually. And at one point, I was like playing Edgar, you know, like I was still an A badge, I think. And I got these really good survivors that I remember going into first match, and I remember the mercenary going like, "Oh my god, I actually cannot believe I got your randoms." And we were like, I know, right? Like, you're a rescue? And they were like, you're a kite painter? What? I was like, excuse me, you guys, oh my god, you guys were so good. And we are like, just so surprised getting actual, because we had a really good team play. Really good, like, senses, like knowing when like body blocking is normal and when body blocking doesn't need to happen, for example, like stuff like that, you know, that it seems really useless, but it's actually can actually save the game.
Yeah.
Anyway, I finished in, unless you want to go on, like.
Let's go. I guess I do want to say like one last thing about it. This all goes back to like, people are so quick to give up on their teammates. Like,
yeah,
it just goes back to that, like, oh, you get hit in like the first 10 seconds of the match, immediately you're hit with "don't rescue me." Like, before you even fall down, people go like, yeah, no, I'm not fucking with this. Which it all goes back to my point of like, if you're not gonna make the most of a match, why are you waiting insanely long waiting times just to get in the match?
For real.
If you're just gonna throw it away, why play the game in the first place? Just quit. Seriously. Like, you do more of a favor to the people in the game rather than yourself, I guess.
For real.
By like actively not participating. Like, if you're not gonna play a team game, if you're gonna play a team game to not do teamwork, don't. There are individual modes for this. Go play those modes. Sorry.
Mods.
Shut up. Shut up. And it like, I don't know. That's all I wanted to say. And with this entire discussion, right? Everything we talked about so far, from the builds, from the tone policing, from like people tone policing your builds, people telling you to switch your builds, people telling you what characters to play and what characters to not play. People telling you to follow the meta in some cases, or people telling you to, just quote unquote play by the rules. It's like, maybe that's their understanding of fun. Like, the more serious play style is their understanding of fun in a rather competitive game scene, because IDV is competitive. Like, that is very apparent. This game holds tournaments most of the time.
Mhm.
So it is competitive. It's a competitive scene, and some people just really like competition. And that is fine. People want to be the best of the best every single time, every single match. And when they lose a game, that really affects them. And maybe that is their type of fun, and that is completely fine. Some people do not rank up at all. Some people rather staying a worker bee and play with their friends every 3 months. And people just want to like play the game because it's fun,
Yep.
or like play the game because it's chill, quote unquote. They don't want to get into that competition scene. And that is also fine. And some people are just right in the middle of that. They play casually, they play chill, but they're also really competitive. They rank a lot. Maybe they have a certain goal for themselves that they want to reach, so that, maybe one day they have a dream of like getting into the competitive scene just for fun, just to like see themselves in that like tournament setting, which is a really fun idea that I actually really wanted to pursue a little bit. But like, since university got involved, I can't really do that anymore. Well, maybe I can, but I need to like throw a whole year away for that. So like, I can't really do that.
Yeah, let's avoid doing that.
In the end, it's all how people want to play the game, but at the same time, don't try to shoehorn your understanding of fun down other people's throats, because that is, first of all, there's gonna be a collision of different ideals for the same game, and collision of different opinions for the same game, which creates fights, like the fights in the post-match chat, or fights in the general chats about what people should play characters, or like what people should bring in their builds to the games. Why mercenaries don't have tide, for example. Like, it all comes down to the fact of like how people want to play the game, but at the same time, there needs to be a level of respect to every single type of execution of the gameplay ideals. Does that make sense? I feel like that's a bit disconnected as a statement, but it's like people need to be more understanding of each other as a community, because IDV's community is already a small one. Like, if I don't know, if the world got nuked one day and somehow the IDV community were one of, like, IDV community had survivors in it, they wouldn't be that important. You know what I mean? Like, it's that niche. It's that small as a community. It's big on its own, but it's, in the end, a really small community out of 1,000 more communities. And I feel like there needs to be a more supportive scene. People need to support each other's views in this game and let people do whatever they want, but also at the same time come to an agreement about what shouldn't be done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
In certain aspects, there needs to be certain rules, but also flexible rules that people can break. Like
I
the
understand.
game ethic, you know.
Yeah,
It's a teamwork game, so you need to play with your teammates.
Yeah, it's like even if you don't agree, you just respect it in a way.
Yeah. Like if you want to play more seriously this game, do that. Rank up, become a champion, become peak tier, become titan, and then just have your time. Have your utmost fun playing it. But when you play with people that are more casual, do not force your gameplay style on them, because you may drive them away from the game.
Yeah.
Which, as someone that belongs in a community, even if you participate in it or not, that's not what you should be doing as someone that's a part of the community. That's just what I believe, and that's my opinion, of course, obviously. And I'm not gonna force this opinion down on anyone's throats. Everyone can feel and disagree with me however they like. Everyone can agree with me however they like. Everyone can agree to disagree, you know, because in the end, this is my opinion, but these are also my opinions, and, you know, everyone should respect each other, and this is a discussion, so everyone should stay respectful of each other. That's how I feel.
Respect everyone.
We are the champions.
Respect everyone and their mama.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, let's go.
Okay. No, yeah, anyway, yeah, like want to be I fully, as a competitive person myself, I personally do get heated up even in QM. But I always remember to have fun. Like, if my own way to have fun is being competitive, it's okay, it's mine, right? But I'm not gonna force it on anyone else. Like, if they feel uncomfortable with the way I have fun, which is being competitive, it's gonna be something that I want to be told by the people that hear me, which is mostly like people in VC. I don't text a lot, to be completely honest. But like, if someone feels uncomfortable with it, I kind of trust my friends to tell me. So like, in the end, like, being competitive is fine, but don't force it down strangers' throats.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
So, can I bring up one small topic, actually? It's actually a really small topic. IDV videos got boring. IDV community got so boring. No offense, but most of it these days is either only pulling sessions or very non-funny videos of making fun of someone.
Yeah.
Like, it's really unfunny at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't watch IDV videos anymore because I just don't find them funny anymore. Like, even the content creators that I used to find funny are not even uploading anymore.
Yeah, because most of them quit the game, honestly.
Yeah, like, I just don't. I don't even know how to explain it. I miss it. I kind of miss having fun with IDV videos. But at the same time, like, I just don't have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's just the small topic I wanted to bring up. Like, just even the IDV YouTube community and just content creator community not being fun anymore.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to speak about why I specifically mentioned the thing I mentioned that's probably taken out because yeah, no name drops, no anything. But sometimes just creators don't know how many people they can reach and how many people they can influence to just behave badly, show bad mannerisms towards unsuspecting players.
Yeah.
Something that I appreciate in the IDV content creator space is that people blur out names most of the time, but it's sometimes not enough. You cannot expect big content creators, no matter how big they can be, like medium big or like really really big, like successful, you know. But as aware as I am of people not being able to control their audiences all the damn time, which is unrealistic to expect, I feel like there should be some sort of a line when it comes to playing games that have an online audience that can easily criticize other players in that online space. So someone playing IDV and uploading that to YouTube, the creator blocks the names, blocks everything. But as long as the creator themselves are not respectful to the players in game, players that they play together with, the audience immediately mirrors that and is then terrible to the people that's in the game, in the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that is upsetting because that just contributes to every community's biggest issue, especially IDV. Especially IDV, I feel like, because IDV is more easily accessible because it's free.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, especially like in the play sense, like most of the coin, like of the money you spend is for actually only just, costume, just not gameplay stuff.
So that's why I just wanted to make a point off of an example that we had talked about before. It's just that it's kind of disturbing for content creators to show that it's okay to just trash on players as long as they have a platform of their own. Even if that's not the message they want to give with their content and it's just entertainment, you never know what people take away from your content or take away from you as a person. So, yeah, that's all really, because I can't give too much context as to what this is really about. This is going to be really confusing for people to listen to, but I feel like it's important to mention.
Yeah, agreed.
Just as a general argument.
Yeah, because in the end,
So,
it's a generalized thing, you know what I mean? Insanity is a generalized happening at this point.
yeah.
Unfortunately, to be completely honest.
This whole being mean to survivors in videos started by like big IDV content creators. Like, I don't mean like big, but like
Big
they
enough.
still hold some water with their platform.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it easier for this weird, hateful group to just spread around into the game. It just normalizes a really problematic set of behaviors, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Especially because it brings bad examples about it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all.
Yeah, that's all. That's everything.
Can I go fight Aedis now?
No.
I'm literally at the door to fight Daddy Dearest.
No, you're grounded for an entire week.